I think this could be the moment. They're sprinting on. They know they're ahead on DLS. This is extraordinary.
Well, extraordinary indeed, wasn't it? 1 year ago today, 16th of March 2023, maybe the most famous day in Nepal's cricketing history in many ways. And I thought to mark the anniversary, it would be a nice idea to have a watch back of the highlights. Big shout out and thanks to Nirav Kanal, who sent me on these incredibly well edited 30-minute highlights from a game that, well, it's just ebbed and flowed and roller coastered throughout. But I probably get asked about that particular ending, that clip that went viral on social media, over 10 million views all around the world. People ask me, why was the game ended? There was no ball bowled, and what was going on, and why was it's such a huge atmosphere, and why did everyone care so much? Well, I suppose I have to take you back to the start of that journey. Monty Desai being appointed as the head coach only about a month prior to that, or 6 weeks prior to that, at the start of 2023, when Nepal were in real trouble in the inaugural edition of Men's Cricket World Cup League 2. They'd won 8 from 24 games, and they got themselves in huge trouble. They were second last in the table and very much likely to finish in the bottom two and possibly lose their ODI status at the playoff that would follow. What then did follow was the most remarkable run, 11 wins from 12, culminating in this game that we're going to talk through. So, yeah, I'm going to kind of pause and watch along with you and maybe give you some of my thoughts on what me and Paresh Lahani were going through in the commentary box, and yeah, really enjoy every moment. Let's get stuck into it.
Just the one change for them. No Karen KC, potentially a bit of a surprise. They've gone with the youngster Gulsan into the team. Plenty of bowling options. And for UAE, just the one change as well for them. Out goes Zawar Farid, who's had a bit of a mixed time of things, and back in comes Junaid Sadiq. Dream big, Nepal. Here we go.
Well, that might be where I stop at first. You heard it there, Dream Big Nepal. Something I love to do, particularly in big games I commentate on, just to try and set the scene beforehand. Maybe a little bit of kind of Peter Drury inspired stuff. I write a bit of a script. You can see it maybe there on my tablet in the little corner window, and I might read that to you now because I went back through my notes and found it. So this was the way I set the scene, I suppose, on that famous date. I said it's a journey that started back with Nepal gaining ODI status in 2018. What followed was 3.5 years of Cricket World Cup League 2, 36 ODIs, and a dream, a distant dream. There's been changes of captain, changes of coaches, and a global pandemic, and many dark days in between. And just 30 short days ago, when relegation, it looked so likely, now is the time for Nepal to change that. One thing is for certain, Monty Desai's men, they are destined for Africa, but will it be going to Namibia next week, or will it be going to Zimbabwe in June? Here we go, Nepal. It's time to dream big Nepal. Something like that. I might not have got it quite right, but that's hopefully a bit of a scene setter. And if we look back then at the scorecard and start to think about what happened in the game, you have to remember Nepal had won 10 from 11 building up to this point, and then it in essence became a must-win match. If they won this, they qualified automatically for that Men's Cricket World Cup qualifier down in Zimbabwe. They'd already retained their ODI status at this point. That was the big thing, but the huge crowd that flowed into the TU made for the most incredible atmosphere, and before we even got going, the place was close to capacity. Remember, I think we arrived at about probably a 9:30 a.m. start, if I remember correctly, and we got there probably 7:30, 8 a.m. and you could see already coming up the TU Avenue, it was absolutely packed to the rafters, people flooding up, and it was always going to be a packed house, but it was put close to capacity when the anthems were sung, and the UAE won the toss, elected to bat first. Let's see what happened.
It's Lalit Rajbanshi to open the bowling. A heavy, deep breath. He'll bowl to Aryan Lakra. Fever pitch. It's been reached already. Let's get this on. He starts right on the money. This win. Clubbed away. Going to be 4. That's vintage Mohammad Waseem. Not out of the middle of the bat, but the power that he possesses. Into the sky. Where is this one gone? It's gone a long, long way. All the way for 6.
Well, what a classic Mohammad Waseem shot, and you can just see there in the background as you look up towards the gates of the TU, security personnel everywhere, people piling in through the grounds. That's one of the 2 umpires. He'll become key later in this video. Ravindra Wimal Siri from Sri Lanka standing alongside Buddy Pradhan for this match.
Concerns, immediate concerns for Nepal, and the concerns are because of the star quality of the Emirati captain Mohammad Waseem. A silence falls over the ground. He defeats to Papua New Guinea. They want to silence this home crowd. Bowled him! Number one! And it's riotous scenes in the crowd as Raj Banshi's the one. Drift, dip, turn, the off stump rock back, and the fans are jumping.
Yes, that was a very good delivery by Lalit Narayan Rajbanshi. The first wicket down for UAE.
Well, just pause it there. Drift, dip and turn is something you hear me talk about a lot as a former spinner on my commentary, and what a delivery. Have a look
at this. DDT, drift,
DDT,
dip
as
and
Perez
turn.
says.
Cleaned up the middle stump. Oh, big hit. Down the ground for a maximum. Into the grass banks.
Team bats for 20 overs. You could take the game away from Nepal. Look at how big a hit this is.
Round. Another big hit. This is to the opposite side at long off for a maximum again.
Amazing to think that because of I think there was an expensive over from Sampal Kami to start, so they've immediately looked at getting more spin into the game. Rohit Powdell, the captain, Kushal Malla, look at those back-to-back sixes. The good shot over the leg side and the one inside out over extra cover from Mohammad Waseem. Sensational. What a player
to
he
get
is.
past, to get to Zimbabwe. Edged and edge wide of Aarif Sheikh. He looks back at his brother and said, Asif, was that a chance for you or for me?
Yes, look at this. It went in the gap off the two brothers.
History. Dropped, put down, not easy.
Bowling.
No
He took a
recollection of
blinder
that.
in the
Don't remember
series
this
in
going
UAE.
down.
Now,
So many dramatic
put a
moments
hand
in
to
this
it
match.
right, but didn't stick to the hand.
Not easy for Sampal, in fairness.
Is this the moment? No! Over the head of Kami, who just
remember
drifted in.
that.
He's going to stop the boundary with Bhim Sharki.
As soon as that hit the edge, I thought that was out, and Waseem was the big wicket, the threat he possesses. They wanted it so badly. You could see Bhim Sharki's reaction to Kami as well. I think Kami had just snuck in at backward point. That could have been a very
But
big
I
one.
think if he was on the edge of the circle, that was the moment. Goes over his head.
Yeah, I think Kami was attacking the ball. He was very in, like 15
Would've gone
yards
to a
from the bat.
regulation backward
Genius
point,
to
wouldn't
work
it?
that out. Thuds into the pad. Full, straight, going over.
Good decision.
Gorgeous stroke. I would say that's the shot of the day. I know we've seen bludgeoning power, but that's class, and it's all class from Mohammad Waseem. Look at that shot there.
Look at that crowd.
Edged
Yeah,
and edge
uncanny
wide.
into the game, what an impact
Aravind,
he had throughout
not
his-
sure where he was
his
targeting.
return
Maybe
to the
inside out
team.
over extra to see the back of Waseem. Is it going to be Lamachani? Down the ground. This has gone a long, long way. An almighty blow for six. Over the side screen. Onto the grass banks as Waseem. Just a flick of the wrist.
And look at this six again.
Stunning.
Just a pickup shot.
Such a brilliant
and
ball
went
striker,
a very
isn't he?
long way.
Happening. As Waseem goes down the ground all the way for six.
50.
And it's 50 for the maestro, the captain of UAE. What a cricketer he is. Yesterday he has made an ODI 100, and it's the trademark of this TU cricket ground. He may be breaking their hearts, but they rise to applaud him. It's a third ODI 50. It's come in jig time, in quick time, with plenty of maximums. Waseem's bat. Pick up all the way for six more.
Isn't that amazing? You saw Waseem go to 50, and naturally all the Nepal fans, very ardent, desperate to win this match, and they stand up and clap him and applaud his efforts thus far. Gulsan just come in, kept things tight, and well, it was only for a brief period because Waseem smashes him for another six, and at this point I think he got to 63 off 48. Well, he was looking very dangerous indeed, and UAE were looking ominous, looking at comfortably getting to 300 plus, but just from here the game started to change in a big way.
He's in sensational six-hitting form, is Mohammad Waseem.
Game for Nepal. This the final for them.
Thuds into the pad. That's the moment. Listen to that roar. They know that's the one they wanted. Mohammad Waseem thinks he's got some bat in it. Buddy Pradhan doesn't.
Yes, this is a very big wicket. It was a...
I remember this live.
Was there an inside edge? It immediately shows
he
the bat to the umpire. It's very hard to say from here.
It was a googly, didn't pick it.
But Sandeep Lyman gets his man. Mohammad Wasim.
The passion in the foreground.
At the right time.
And the background, sensational.
Nepal taking the second wicket.
He's in a close cover, which is Aaree, and then a deep extra. Finally some aggression, and the aggression again comes against Kushal Malla. Nepal are dragging this game back. Another mix-up, there's the run out we talked about! Right on cue! Rizwan CP, he's gone! It was coming and coming and coming!
I do remember that moment. The reason why is that I think there had been 4 or 5, maybe not near run-outs, but 4 or 5 massive moments of confusion between Rizwan CP and young Virti Aravind, who played so well throughout the innings. And I reckon the ball before, maybe 2 balls before, I said, I think, Paresh, we've got a run-out on here. The run-out's coming while Dipendra Singh Aaree is bowling. And just occasionally when you're up there, you get these things right. And yeah, I remember that was, well, I think I said that I knew it was coming, or it was whatever. It was just, you felt it was there. And a shambolic piece of running, good piece of fielding.
Thousands outside the ground, tens of thousands inside it. Look at this drone shot, beautiful. Slog sweep, Malla continues to be attacked successfully. Aravind.
Oh, try to hit it over. Out! That's out! Another wicket gone down. Look at Gulsan and look at the spectators there on their feet.
Point in the Dubai series, remember?
So that was a big wicket. That was Afzal Khan, the youngster, promoted up the order to number 5. I don't know why he came in number 5 that day. Brought the kind of the, how would you describe him? The pantomime villain, I suppose, of Nepali cricket. Rohan Mustafa to the crease. He's kind of loved and hated in equal measure. A bit of a love-hate character there. He always acts up to the crowd and plays out against them. He came in at number 6, but at this point they're in real trouble at 128 for 4 when the wicket fell. Very good catch held by Gulshan down at long on there. Dipendra Singh Aaree had a really good day, but 8 overs, 2 for 19.
Reverse sweep, not where Mustafa intended. Sheikh tried to anticipate the stroke. Good slog sweep, picks it up nicely and gets it behind square on the leg side. The line was wrong for the first time. Got a few yesterday. That's a good stroke. The reason why, look, there's no one behind square. Free shot, and it goes all the way for 6. Nicely guided away. How fine has he got it? Not quite fine enough, but it's fine enough for 50. And an outstanding innings from the young man. He's a joy to watch, isn't he, Virti Aravind? He really is. And he goes to 50 from 87 deliveries. He acknowledges the crowd. And as is the trademark of this Team International Cricket Ground, they give him rich and warm applause. That's lovely to see. 4 4s, 1 6 for the youngster.
Help on a day like today.
Nicely guided. That's a very good stroke. A stroke of real quality.
Misfielded by Daya, one of the security team down there. You just heard Paul Radley come and join me in the box. Don't actually remember that off the top of my head, but he must have come in, the marvellous journalist from the national newspaper. And Aravind was really playing the anchor role here. You felt it sort of 150 with 15 overs to go. They might get 260. That would be kind of the limit of their ambition. But what proceeded to follow, particularly after the dismissal we've seen a few moments of Mustafa, was, well, quite unbelievable. Nepal definitely had problems with their death bowling. We didn't think the problems would be this extreme.
Been brilliant.
Scooped over his shoulder. Very, very well, very effectively. Fine leg up in the circle.
Just 1 over of Aarif Sheikh that day.
As Mustafa slaps that backward a point, he'll get 4. Good use of the feet, good energy into the stroke. Repeats the dose, but this time down the ground. 4 more. And out. Aggression from Mustafa. I don't think pace on the ball is the way to go. Really surprised the spinners aren't bowling right now. Taklu elder brother, so they say, my bold elder brother.
You can hear me there talking about a Taklu die shape. This is going to be given LBW. It'd be interesting to see the replay here. I don't think Mustafa's going to be happy with it.
Floods into the pad. Given. It's Dipendra, Singh, Airee back into the attack. The pace off the ball was the way to go. Mustafa wanted the reverse sweep. He didn't get anything of it.
Let me just see if I can bring that back and get another look at that replay. I don't remember this LBW off the top of my head. Let's have a look.
So they say, my bald elder brother.
Yeah, fair
Floods
decision.
into the
There was no
pad.
blood involved. It was probably the front
Given.
pad, in fairness
It's
to Mustafa.
Dipendra, Singh, Airee back into the attack. The pace off the ball was the way to go.
Look at the crowd
Mustafa
again.
wanted the reverse
Now,
sweep. He didn't
big
get
moment
anything
here.
of it.
Mustafa gone. In comes this man, Asif Khan.
Guided away, good stroke. Now Dipendra Singh Airee has a real task in his hands. Even he can't cut it off.
With this Nepal side.
I've actually called it wrong. I think it's Aarif Sheikh is a backward point. Bhim's at extra cover as this one's guided away for 4. Good place. That one's bowled from about 25 yards. Alam.
Now this is a key moment. You can see there are 7.5 overs to go, and the score is 200. And Asif Khan is on 13 off 14 deliveries. Let's just enjoy what you're going to see now in a moment, because, well, quite unbelievable, and a day that Asif Khan will never forget despite the end result.
Mark, what cut away for 4. Too slow from Lamachani. Down the track into the sky. Aravan gets enough of it. Oh, that's an outstanding stroke from a phenomenal young talent. It's all the way for 6. Deathly silence.
Yes, excellent.
Even there, before that ball, we'll see basically everything of Aravan now in a moment, but let's just check that score. It was, I'm just pulling up the scorecard next to me here. The runs that came at the end exceed even what I remember, in fact. So at the end of the 44th, it was 208 for 5. So the last 6 overs are going to go the distance, and you'll see for how many.
Shot by Irvin, inside out, playing with the spin, over extra cover for a maximum. Another short ball, a long hop, nicely done by Irvin. Yet another boundary for him.
Big hit. That's Mohammed Wasim-esque. That's going to fly all the way for 6.
Pure muscle there.
Tries to repeat the dose, comes towards us, goes all the way for 6 more. Nearly.
You can actually just see us there. If you have a look basically underneath my face, you can see a monitor. That's where Paresh will be, and I'll just be to his left as you look to his right. Look at the number of people again. All the army personnel who do such a great job, the security staff. Back-to-back 6s, 10 to 46, but even then still, they're only 235 with 4 overs to go. You think that over 270 is out of the question. You won't believe what Asif Khan does.
Comes through our window. Kushal Mala, just a passenger. Back-to-back 6s.
Again, the problem for Nepal, that overs.
Big hit. And when you go to that part of the ground, you always get good reward. Khan is going to make it ever taller. 6 more. This is outstanding batting, back-to-back.
I don't know how he's got that one for 6. He's been completely cramped for room. Kami's actually bowled quite a nice line, and somehow just pure muscle all the way over the rope. Again, back-to-back 6s.
6s again. Pace on the ball, flies out of the ground. Pace off the ball, flies out of the ground. Knowing it's win or die, going to be very difficult, as this is 4 more. It's going to be 50. A brilliant knock. An outstanding innings, maybe a game-changing, could be a game-winning one. 52 off 30. And there's a ripple of applause, but it's somewhat through gritted teeth. The home fans know how important this has been. 4 6s, 3 4s, and the low full toss smashed to the boundary.
So even there, Asif Khan was 22 off 22. Next 8 balls he's hit for 30. And now with just 17 deliveries left in the innings, he's still only on 52. How does he get to 100?
Strokes of Asif Khan. Doesn't know where to bowl to the big hitter. Goes into the wicket. Smashed down the ground. Smashed out of the ground.
Length should be perfect. Again, a big hit. Down towards long off. Yet another maximum.
Quality.
There. Khan.
Now this was the big over, wasn't it? So the previous over went for 20. 2017, and then this one from Lamachani, I think it was 4 consecutive sixes.
Bang!
The first
6
one here.
more. Lamachani's been far too slow in his comeback spell, and Khan is punishing him. Last 5 overs. Gonna be 6 more. Just too easy. Far too slow through the air. He's trying to tempt him, Lamachani, but he's only tempting him to hit it out of the ground. 300 plus now coming in.
Yeah, I think Lamachani is going for the wicket. That is why he's bowling so slow.
That shot there, so you can actually, if you look at the guys in the helmets, there's a row of them. They're in the ground, and then there's the white wall, and the rest are outside of the ground. It's always hard to get exact estimates, but I'd say certainly there was 25-30,000 in and around the venue, maybe 16 or 18, 20,000 of them in the venue, and then another 8 or 10,000 outside. But it was so surreal, so eerie at this point, because it was understandably pin drop silence. Yet the crowd were witnessing one of the best ODI innings of all time.
Through the air.
300. Looking very, very unlikely. Asif Khan is having a day out. He's got to go quicker through the air, Lamachani. He's been pummeled to oblivion. Khan, it's his best score now in ODI cricket, 83 off 37. Googly, 6 more. Every ball is going the distance.
Well, that one
It's
is
4 consecutive
massive.
sixes, batting of the highest quality. Asif Khan was 23 off 23. 15 balls later, he's 89 off 38. This is batting of the highest quality.
Again, bowling that googly,
Mind-blowing.
but on the long line and the
acceleration
long length.
unlike I've
All
ever
for
seen
me.
before.
Big hit again. Man out there over his head. Every single thing is going his way. Asif Khan, he's putting on maybe one of the great displays of batting in associate cricket history. The fastest associate 100 in the history of the game is Kevin O'Brien's 50-ball century. Mohammad Wasim gave that a good rattle yesterday. Asif Khan with a boundary now will break the Irishman's record from the 2011 World Cup in front of 25, maybe 30,000 fans here in Kathmandu. The wheels are well and truly off the train tracks for Nepal.
Again, you get a good sense of the scale of the crowd there from that drone shot. And as you heard me describe, King Kevin O'Brien, his 50-ball century was the fastest ever in associate history, and Asif Khan with his next shot is going to break it and in fact make the 4th fastest century in the history of ODI cricket. I do remember frantically, probably in between the 47th and 48th over during the 30-second ad break, frantically on the scale of broadcast we have here on the Pathway events. There's no statistician, there's no producer or director, there's no one helping you. So you kind of have to rely upon, I usually have my tablet here, I'm looking at the scorecard again now from that day, is looking at all the runs added up, but I was frantically searching as best I could for the records, and I couldn't believe that it was actually the 4th fastest of all time. It just all happened so quickly, and I think I might have got lucky. Let's find out on the call. I think I might have remembered the people whose records he was breaking or getting close to.
Into the block hole, down the ground, there's a man at long on, he can't get there, it's 100 from 41 deliveries, the 4th fastest in the history of one-day international cricket, the fastest by any associate. He goes into a list with A.B. de Villiers, with Corey Anderson, with Shahid Afridi, 11 maximums, 41 balls. Oh, Asif Khan, yes you can, you beauty. What an innings! One of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's kind of getting a bit emotional even watching that bit of it there. Yeah, an unbelievable knock, and maybe with everything that happened, that innings has been a little bit forgotten in the history of it. But without that knock, we wouldn't have had the scenes that followed, and I think everyone involved in UAE cricket always knew that Asif Khan was capable of something like this. He does it quite regularly in domestic cricket in the UAE, but wow, stunning. And Junaid Siddiq, you saw him celebrating on the sidelines. And then I know this sounds really strange, but after the century, just a little fight back here at the end from Nepal, albeit probably too little too late, we were thinking at the time. Single, dot, dot. I think
They put on over 106 overs. Aravan tries to go to 3 figures, he won't. Dipendra Singh Aaree will take the catch almost angrily. He's caught short. Kami has a wicket, but is it too little, too late? It's full, including one from the very final delivery.
So yeah, if we look at that
There's a slip.
it was 208 for 5. I'll just see if I can drag it back to the scorecard for 1 sec. 208 for 5 it was after the 44th over. Somehow, predominantly Asif Khan, although well supported by a really good anchor innings from Freddie Aravind, who came up just 6 short of his 100. They put on 102 runs in 6 overs. Mind-blowing, over 16 runs per over. And yeah, just if you think that Nepal at this point, I don't think it ever scored more than 300 in an ODI. I'm pretty sure that was the case. And they certainly hadn't chased more than 300. They had got a couple of 270 plus chases in some ODIs against, I think, Papua New Guinea at this ground. They might not even have been Cricket World Cup League 2 games. But you just got a sense in and around the ground, and look at the massive number of fans there from that drone shot again, that nobody really thought that it was possible. And when you see the start to this second innings, well, it went from maybe not possible to completely impossible.
There's a slip to start off with. There's a 45 on the leg side. The first ball, nicely punched down the ground by Kushal Purtel for a single, and a big roar from the crowd.
Yeah, well said, Paresh. It was a big roar, but what followed now, I think one of the other big things about this day, we always talk about it being the Associate El Clasico, these two sides who absolutely love playing against each other so much and create these brilliant memories for us. UAE, in theory, had nothing to play for, but they had been utterly destroyed a few days prior. I don't have the numbers straight off the top of my head. I think they were bowled out for 80 or 90, or maybe even 70 odd, and that was in the kind of the first of the two fixtures between these two sides in this final triangular series, and they were furious with that, and they wanted to come back and show that they could get back in front of this big crowd and get one back over their big rivals. And Ayan Khan, he had a big role to play.
It's produced. Wicket in the first over, and it's the youngster, the superstar, the 17-year-old Ayan Khan, who's dismissed Asif Sheikh to get things going from the Chobar end as it's flicked away for 4. Just nicely played. He rode the bounce, chipped straight to the man. The occasion.
9 balls into the chase, they're 2 down. Kushal Malla promoted up to number 3. Didn't quite work, did it? Junaid Sadiq in particular had a huge role to play in this contest.
Is proving too much right now. Sadiq strikes. Malla gone for just 5 to climb one of those Himalayan mountains. Starts brightly. Good clip into the leg side. He's going to get 4. Action aplenty from the first 10 balls. 2 boundaries and 2 wickets. Picked up all the way, I think, for 6. It is.
How good this wicket is to bat on. Look at this, just a clip of his legs. Went the distance towards the backward square leg boundary.
With a really good point from Paresh there. It was an absolute road. It was a dream surface to bat on. I just looked that up. It was 71 the UAE were bowled out for in the reverse fixture between these two. Nepal had batted first, made 248, and they were just blown away. Rajbanshi 5 for 20. I think Lamachani was in the wickets in that game too. But all the scores throughout the series: Nepal 297. This was the first match of this final triangular series. 297 v PNG's 245. PNG 246. They actually beat the UAE, bowling them out for 190. And Nepal 248 versus 71 all out. Then Nepal blitzed Papua New Guinea away all out for 95 and chased it in 7 overs. Asif Sheikh that day 53 off 21. And then the UAE the day before this game had really comfortably chased 234 of Papua New Guinea, with Mohammad Wasim making his maiden ODI 100. I suspect we're probably on the same pitch as the day before, so really good batting surfaces at the TU.
Nicely played, back-to-back boundaries. Massive roars. Smiles and nods, applauds. He's older than him. Nicely guided away using the pace of the ball. Outfield's fast, so Khan gives up the chase. 4 more.
Yes, nicely done. Neat touch by Rohit Paudel. Played it very late, right behind the stumps.
Swing and a miss, big moment. Is that a miss stumping? I think it might be.
It's something I think we're going to see now, and something again, yeah, it's just amazing the things you forget, but you're living them at the time. There was quite a few dropped chances and missed catches, or drop catches and missed chances throughout this game. And there, I think Powell could have been stumped. Aryan Lakra brought into the attack as early as the 6th over, the second left arm spin.
It's going to be 4 buys. Oh, maybe giving his runs an inside edge.
There was a bat involved there. Yes, inside edge. That was a very difficult chance for the keeper.
Or a missed stumping, whichever way you want to look at it.
That's the big one he wants, and he's gone! A tumbling, spectacular, brilliant catch from his opposite number. It's rolled as a second.
Yes, he wanted to go over the top, but beautiful catch. Look at that jump.
Well, what a grab from Mohamed Waseem. And again, this is now, well, it's not ended the contest, but at the time, I remember thinking vividly in the ground, I might have even said to Paresh after the advert break, this game is over. It's 37 for 3. Nepal have never made more than 300 in an ODI, let alone chased it. They can't come back from this. They've had this miraculous run and it's fallen at the final hurdle, and that catch from Mohamed Waseem, well, quite brilliant.
To perfection by the opposite captain, Mohamed Waseem.
Nicely swept around the corner, that'll be 4. And just bring a bit of relief.
It's not
swept around the corner. I think this is going to be 4 more. Could be back-to-back boundaries. Outfield very quick because the sweep shot is proving effective.
Yes, nicely done by Bhim Sharki. Got a glove to it.
Dropped. Big moment. If that was taken, I think the game is gone. It's a dolly, really, to be honest. Should have been taken.
Yes, it was a dolly.
It was straight to him. You can already see it's starting to get a little dark. We'll come back to that in a moment. But it was young Ayan Khan there dropping the catch at mid-wicket. Kushal Bertel it was put down.
Guided away. Guided away for 4. That's what the home fans love. They love a misfield in the deep. Insult to injury.
Oh, what a big strike by Kushal Bertel. Right on the slot for a maximum into the grass banks.
Blowing double kisses to the sky as Bertel, he takes this shot on because Mohamed Waseem is up in the circle.
Well, I have to call Paresh out on one there. I don't think it's into the grass bags. There are no grass bags. There's only people thronged. Look at the number of them. You can see there as well. You see the frames. You can kind of just about see them. So you see the My Second Teacher advertising hoarding. Then that's like a KFC advert next to it. I think pretty sure what the fans have done, possibly that day, you can also see them up in the trees there. They've torn those advertising hoardings to pieces. The reason why, they were blocking their view from outside the ground, and realistically, how could anyone stop them? You just must see stuff, you couldn't miss it.
Mid on and he won't be there anymore.
Bat this over out. Another good hit. Onto the mid-wicket boundary for yet another maximum by Kushal Bertel. Ploy for these batters. Oh, good hook shot. Gone all the way for 6.
They're spinning with joy in the crowd. He's only just got it over the head. Here's a look at the replay. Very brave shot with the man out. Zara Farid is tall. Out at deep backward, square leg. Over his head. It
was a brave shot, wasn't it? That's the bigger side of the ground and just gets enough of it. But Bertel, look at the way he's accelerated there. 46 off 27. And after being in all sorts of trouble at 37 for 3, suddenly a partnership just starting to build and some belief starting to grow.
Into the attack. Edge for 4. No slip in place. Happy days, say the Nepali fans. 4 more to the total. There's a growing belief all of a sudden.
Oh, that's dropped. Again down to the boundary for 4 runs. Bhim Sharki dropped on 18. This is a regulation keeper's catch, I must say. He went to the wrong.
Yeah, maybe not quite regulation, but certainly should have been taken. Aswant Falthapaj, the youngster, he's only played 3 ODIs and 1 T20 to date, even now, a year on. So imagine this was one of his 4 appearances for his country. A really critical moment, putting that catch down there, Bhim Sharki.
Direction in the initial stage.
His coaches. He's getting to 50 again. Big applause from the crowd. It's his 5th one-day international 50 to go alongside his made an ODI 100. I think he's going to need to double that up.
Ball is the way to go.
This could be gone. It is. The cut shot, and Sadiq roars at delight. He loves it.
Did you see Junaid Sadiq's celebrations there? Like, I just spoke to you about how UAE in theory had nothing on it. Look at how into this game they were and how much they wanted to deny Nepal that third and final spot down in Zimbabwe. Remember, Namibia were the incumbents. Really, they couldn't actually lose it. I just had a look at the table in preparation for this video. After 24 games, Nepal had won just 8 matches. So that was with 3 triangular series left in the whole competition. They'd play their 12 final ODIs, 8 in Kathmandu, 4 in Dubai in the middle of that. And Namibia, they actually, with 4 games to go, I think they just needed 1 win. They somehow lost their remaining 4 games, 2 against Nepal and 2 against Scotland in that first triangular series in Kathmandu. And that left the smallest, narrowest window open. Scotland and Oman had already taken 2 of the qualification spots. And Nepal basically had to win every game bar 1. They did lose 1 in the UAE. I think that was to UAE, not to Papua New Guinea, if I remember correctly. And then back home, they had the chance with this 12th and final match to win 11 from 12 and really kind of rob Namibia of a spot. And you have to remember, you feel sorry for Pierre de Bruyne's men because they were so shorn by injury. They were barely able to get 11 men on the pitch in a couple of the series down in Papua New Guinea. I remember they struggled for that. But with this dismissal of Bertel here, again, the task in theory is still alive, but UAE heavy favourites.
It's another cutter, the extra bounce from the tall man.
Cutter to get the outside edge. A simple catch to Valtapa, the keeper, and look at his celebration.
Flicked around the corner, no fine leg in place. Sharki
Great
says,
job.
Take that, Mohamed Wasim.
To Zohar Khan.
Up in the VVIP section, big hit. Where's this gone? Oh, it's gone. Not quite all the way, but 4 more to Sharki.
That was nicely pulled away by Bhim Sharki from outside the off stump.
Cut powerfully and put down again. My oh my.
It's Afzal Khan again, isn't it?
Look at
Let's have a
this.
look. Oh no, look, it's gone quickly to him. Asif Sheikh, sorry, Aarif Sheikh has hit that so well.
Again,
You have
a
to
very
take
good
that.
camera work there.
In and out.
3
So
regulation
that's now 3
chances,
drops.
have to say.
4th
his
drop
bowling.
if you include the missed stumping slash
Big
drop.
swing and
Is
a
this another
miss,
one?
and has the back foot lifted. Let's take a look at the back foot.
Back foot did lift.
Would have needed to
So
be a
there we
very
are,
good
5
piece of work
chances.
from Valtapa.
This
Yes,
is simply
man.
written in the stars.
Nicely done by Bhim Sharki. Nice little touch. Running down to the boundary.
Even there, not big celebrations, because I think many of the fans that they've gone through a bit of a fallow period are starting to think that this game is drifting away from them.
3 for 4 runs, moves to 44 or 48.
Lovely touch. Bhim Sharki, he's long been thought about. Hazrat Bilal back into the attack. Bowled a very threatening 2 overs. Going to be 50 for Bhim Sharki. And just listen to that ovation. It's just his 9th one-day international. It's his 2nd 50. Coming at a good pace of 60 deliveries. That strike rate is fine.
Yes, it's just because of this partnership between Bhim Sharki and Aarif Sheikh.
Cut on the up, cut powerfully, and cut for 4.
Great job.
That's a very good stroke. Right on top of the bounce. He may be short in stature, but it's come out of the middle of the bat.
If the youngster is watching, that is the way to play a cut shot. Beautifully done by Bhim Sharki. Right on top of the ball. Yes. Oh, nicely played. Beautiful shot. A neat touch all the way for 6 runs. That's 4 runs, sorry.
He's
just
cheering
one
them
bounce
on at this
for-
ground. That's a gorgeous stroke. It's the uppercut
Really
played with
nice.
full control.
But over easily without taking any risk. So boundaries are not like I've been saying it. There's yet another boundary for Bhim Sharki, a much needed one in the condition, in the situation.
Thuds into the pad, full, straight, gone. Sadiq, he roars with delight. The final delivery from his comeback over. He gets the breakthrough that Wasim wanted, and that changes the game again. Sharki trapped LBW for 67.
You might see it's just got a bit brighter there. Now, this is 31 overs gone, and it's again important to note that it was looking dark earlier in the day. But this time of year, I think the sunset's probably in and around, won't know exactly off the top of my head, probably around 6 o'clock, something like that. Might have been a 9:30 start. First innings didn't overrun too much, but all of that will start to come into the picture in a big way, because as soon as that sun starts to go, you'll see it gets very dark indeed. Big wicket though, Sharki trapped LBW by Junaid Sadiq for 67. And there was a big call now for Monty Desai. Does he go with Dipendra Singh Airee, his reliable man at number 7, or does the youngster, I think just 17 years of age still at this point, Gulsan Jah, get a promotion? Good decision. Going to hit the middle, top of middle.
It looks very adjacent, but
everyone knew. So
nicely played into the gap. That's nicely played by Gulsan Jah. That's 200 up for Nepal. Beautifully done, getting that gap to perfection, Gulsan Jah.
Beautifully poised now the game, isn't it?
Is this the boundary? The crowd say yes, it is!
Again, they'd just gone through a little bit of a lull for 2 or 3 overs prior to that shot. That's why I'm saying, is this the boundary? I'd probably been talking about them needing one, and Gulsan Jah provided it with the maximum. Look at the euphoria up here.
6 all the way! There's the power that Jah possesses, and they're back dancing in the stands.
A massive 6. Look at this on the slot. Full throttle given by Gulsan Jah well, into the crowd.
Floods into the pad. Oh, that's very full, and that's very straight. Life out there.
Yes, it was definitely pitched outside leg stump. Good.
Pitched outside.
Into the offside. It's going to be 4. And 50 for Aarif Sheikh. What a knock it's been under the maximum pressure. He's been the Iceman in the middle order. The elder brother, he's been in the shadow a bit of the younger brother of late. He goes to 50. The 25-year-old is 5th one-day international 50. What a cheer.
One of the things I love about ODI cricket, it's been much maligned in recent years, and that infuriates me at points, because the importance of the ODI game, particularly to the leading associate nations, can't be overstated. They don't play any longer versions of cricket than this. For someone like Arif Sheikh, 52 he ended up with, we'll see him be dismissed shortly, off 62 balls with only 2 4s. Takes all kinds of innings. Kushal Bertel made 50 off 35 balls with 7 boundaries, 3 4s, 4 6s. So there's just there's so much more to ODI cricket. You get the best of our game in the one day, and the ebb and the flow, and an ODI classic like this, they just don't come any better.
An icy steel glare from Sheikh the Elder. To the drama, the ground staff have been sent for the covers. He's picked him out. Juggled! Taken! That could be the game! Faridya Aravind, he barely saw it. Get it over the head of long on.
Just saying, the grounds would have been sent to the
to
covers.
go over
How he
long
held
on.
on to this?
There was a
Look
juggle
at the
by
crowd in the background.
Aravind,
Look at their reactions.
almost dropping that catch.
Hit the chest.
Look at the 1,
Juggled
2,
once, twice.
and grabs 3. Oh, grabs in the 4th attempt.
Usually a wicket keeper. And then the sunglasses fall
drama.
off the head.
They're not just at the covers, they have the covers ready to sprint on with. If this game ends here and they are called into action, they're well behind unless Jah and Airee can script something quickly.
So now, this is where I suppose I need to explain again the fact that we're working with a reasonably basic level of broadcast. Yopesh and his team in Nepal there, and all the guys in the pathway events with IMG Cricket Clubs do an amazing job, but with very limited budgets. So we don't have what you'd see at kind of World Cup events or major events with 14, 16, 18 cameras and talk back, being able to hear the producer in our ear who's got communications directly with the match referee or the third umpire. So we have no idea what's going on. We're in a kind of a media building that's over the long off as you enter the ground, the long off region. The match referee and the third umpire are across to my left, about in another building about 50 yards square of the wicket at a deep point. So we have no communications to them whatsoever. I do remember maybe at the second drinks break asking, can I please get a copy of the Duckworth Lewis Stern sheet to be brought across to me. I did at least have that, so I knew that Nepal were behind, but we really had no idea what was going on. So over the course of the next, I think there's probably about 5 minutes left in this video, you may hear my voice get more and more panicked, because I am really guessing and trying to, as I'm witnessing what I see out on the field, establish what's going on and critically not get anything wrong. I know how much is on the line here, and I'm trying to also capture the essence of this incredible game of cricket that's playing out before our eyes. But right now, I don't have the DLS sheet anymore, of course. I should have kept it. That would have been a good one to auction in years to come. But I reckon with that 6th wicket, I think they were ahead with 5 wickets down. I think with the 6th wicket down, there's been a big swing because it's all about your resources left in DLS. I think Nepal are now behind by 15 or 18, something to that effect, well, maybe 12 or 15, and they need to find a way to get back into the game. And also, we don't know when they're going to go off. You can see that the ground staff have been sent for the covers here, and nobody really knows what's happening. So if they go off right now, Nepal lose on DLS if they don't get back on, and their dreams are crushed. Only 17 more balls were played, I think, or maybe did we get to the end of the 44th? Maybe 4 or 5 more overs were played. Let's see what happened.
Before.
Now here's the big moment, and this was the critical thing, because Gulsan Jazz in the left-hander refused to bowl either Ayaan Khan or Aryan Lakra. Lakra's expensive, 4 overs for 28, but Ayaan Khan had bowled 7 overs, 2 for 31. But he's bowled out Junaid Sadiq, who took 3 for 51. Hazrat Bilal had been really expensive, and Zohar Khan, I think, is bowling from the other end. So Wasim needed to find an over, and he was flat out refusing to bowl a left-arm spinner. He just wasn't having it. So he's bowled himself, his part-time medium pacers. Nepal are still behind, probably by 10 or 12 on DLS. Here comes Gulshan Jah.
Hammered, high, handsome! And I think it's gone all the way. Just the one hand of Aaree Aravind. The crowd are indicating 6. So too now is Buddy Pradhan. And they're dancing, they're jiving, they're on their feet.
Definitely he's going to target Wasim here. A good strike. There was a fielder there in the boundary line, deep mid wicket. Goes over his head. Oh, that's a very good attempt.
It's for Aaree Aravind again. What a brilliant effort. And I think if we just drag that back, let's watch that slow motion replay once more.
There was a fielder there in the boundary line, deep mid wicket. Goes over his head. Oh, that's a very good attempt.
Inside the rope. Given a 6. Difficult one to call. Next
hit away.
Next ball.
Where's this one gone? Back to back boundaries. 6, 4. Listen to that noise. My oh my, this gamble of Wasim. It's not paying off. And Nepal could sneak ahead of DLS now. At the end of the...
I think it's hard to explain how dark it is here. You can see the cameraman desperate trying to find the ball. I think what I've said on commentary was, where's that gone? Because I don't know. I can't see where the ball has gone. Our monitor isn't showing it. I'm looking out the window whilst looking at the monitor. It's impossible to tell what's happening, and you can hear my voice is getting more and more animated. Bang, bang. I think maybe at the end of this over they needed to be something... let me get this right. I think it needed to be maybe 252 or 253 at the end of this over. All of a sudden, the gamble of bowling Wasim himself.
This over, they need to be 250. A boundary puts Nepal ahead on DLS from these 2 deliveries. That's why you're dicing with fire if you time waste. It is going to be a boundary, surely. It's going to be 4 more. They're ahead on DLS. The 250's up. It's all happening in Kathmandu. The roof about to come off the place.
Look at that chant. Look at the roar of the crowd. I cannot hear Lenny. I cannot hear myself here in the commentary box. What a strike by Gulsan Jah. 6, 4 and 4.
Well, it's a pretty tame effort, I have to say, from Zohar Fareed. He'd snuck in.
I don't know why Zohar Fareed's on the pitch. He was dropped for the game before, if I'm right. I think I'm right. And he's come on as a sub-fielder. He's misfielded. That was a poor effort. That's got to be, for me, one of my favourite lines of commentary of all time. The roof about to come off the place, because it was. It's. Paresh said he couldn't hear me sitting next to me. It's impossible to describe the energy and the electricity in the ever-growing gloom here. What an over. And you'll see from the final ball, quite indescribable.
Keeps going. Gets it straight down to Mustafa. Oh! Look at the roar! The over's gone for 20. Nepal 255 for 6, and Mustafa has had a calamity at long up.
Yes, this is what the crowd pressured onto Mustafa earlier in the over. He saved 2 runs for his team. Now a misfield. Look at this. It went between
wrong
his legs.
Mustafa.
Junaid Sadiq with the off-cutter. Airee wants two. He's bumped in to the fielder. Given not out. A moment of real drama. Real drama. And I'll tell you why. Sadiq is furious. And things are escalating. Almost out of control here. Let's take a look at what's happened. He always wanted two. Here's the incident. Oh, we're not going to see it on that angle. Just if we can go back to the down, the wicket replay. The dive got him home, only just.
Well, I think what we didn't see there, and I probably saw live with my own eyes, was that I think Dipendra Singh Aaree has either run into Sadiq or Sadiq has maybe kind of stepped into his line a touch. And from memory, this was a stunning decision in terms of its accuracy for Woody Pradhan. I think he's just got home. You can see the evidence of it there, but only just. I certainly couldn't give it out live. There's no third umpire in play, but look at Sadiq again, furious. And the game very much, well, I think if that wicket had fallen, Nepal again would have gone behind on DLS. And at any point now, you can see how dark it is. Our cameras will always brighten it. They could have gone off at any moment here.
Wicket replay, the dive got him home, only just. Life in the gods here. Hit into the offside, should be at least a couple. Singh Aaree so quick. Every run is being roared at. 50 for the young man.
50.
Extraordinary from Gulsan Jah. We forget how young he is. It's his career best. What a time to make your first one-day international.
Big shout out to Ahmed Raza there, the assistant coach of the UAE, former captain, one of the great statesmen of the associate game. And you're going to see a bit more of him in a moment because, well, yeah, the end is just staggering. Look at every person there on their feet on the right. The
50,
energy,
the 17-year-old standing up to be counted.
Yes, extraordinary batting by Gulsan Jah.
Being told he can't bowl Hazrat Bilal because he's been off for too long.
So, I'm now remembering, piecing it all together as we watch it back. Hazrat Bilal had gone off with some unbeknownst injury or some kind of a comfort break, and Zara Farid was on for those 2 or 3 overs, including those couple of misfields. Again, Wasim doesn't want to bowl the left-arm spinner because Gulsan Jah is in, and he felt that he was just bowling into his hitting arc and he'd be hit away. He doesn't want to bowl himself. He's bowled the 1 over, none for 20. His one and only final seam option is Hazrat Bilal. Let's find out what happens.
To spend the same amount of time on the pitch that you did off the pitch if you were injured, and that's exactly what's happened. Wasim can't bowl him, so getting the spinner in might not be the worst thing. The problem will be for Aryan Lakra, the 21-year-old.
Look at how dark
won't want to bowl to Gulsan Jah, who loves that slog sweep, and we'll get to hit with the spin. Let's take a look at the.
I also remember this taking a ludicrously long amount of time. Like, we haven't bowled a ball since the last over for about 4 or 5 minutes here. Mohammed Wasim had a massive argument with both of the umpires saying, no, I want to bowl him. He was being told you can't bowl him. It dragged on and on and on. Now, the other thing I know is that Nepal had a DLS sheet on the sideline. I'm pretty sure the 2 boys out in the middle might have had one in their pockets as well. They knew they were ahead. Now, if the game's going to play out, it's 42 off 36 with 4 wickets in hand. It's not easy, but they are probably marginally ahead. But this just took so long. I think I erroneously said on air that they'd taken 4 hours 40 minutes to bowl their 44 overs. They hadn't. It was 4 hours 10 minutes though, which is ludicrously long. And again, the cameras don't really do justice as to just how dark it is. And here are those famous final moments.
Field, deep cover and long off. In place, another break in play. Long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square. The umpires coming together. Well, what's going to happen here? My oh my, they are going off. And I'm not sure if the crowd know it. And we're going to check. We are going to check. I think this could be the moment. They're sprinting on. They know they're ahead on DLS. This is extraordinary. Mohammed Wasim is protesting. The crowd think they're going to Zimbabwe. Paresh, what are we witnessing? Have Nepal done enough? They think they have. They're roaring to the heavens. They're ahead. There's hugs. And maybe, just maybe, Dipendra Singh Airee and Gulsan Jah have done enough to take Nepal to Zimbabwe.
What a dramatic end.
Well, yeah, I've got tears in my eyes here again. The most sensationally dramatic finish, maybe, in certainly the history of the associate game, and something that I think everyone who loves the development of the game and wants the game to grow, scenes like this with that many people interested and caring about it, and how it transcended the associate level of the sport. And it's always something I try to use positively, the men and women who play the associate game and give up so much and sacrifice so much to chase their dreams, not for millions of dollars, but for the pride of representing their nation and for growing the sport in their country. This transcended all of that. It got attention every single where around the world, the cricketing world and indeed the sporting world. This was talked about everywhere, this game. It went completely viral on social media. The scenes in the crowd, you can see some flares are starting to go off there. And yeah, I told this story recently on one of the podcasts I went on to, but to try and capture those final 30 or 40 seconds, I actually haven't seen that bit where we might just watch it once more, where it doesn't just cut off at the crowd think they're going to Zimbabwe. I keep going, and I'm really at the time grasping at straws to know and to guess what is happening, and really I think the key thing that probably saved us up in the commentary box at the time was the fact that Nepal sprinted on celebrating. Without that, we wouldn't have known, and I guess it was never going to get bright enough for them to go back out, so we did know that. And maybe let's just watch it once more, and there's one little postscript to it too.
In place, another break in play, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square. The umpires coming together. Well, what's going to happen here? My oh my, they are going off, and I'm not sure if the crowd know it, and we're going to check. We are going to check. I think this could be the moment. They're sprinting on. They know they're ahead on DLS.
Yeah, that was the moment there. I think it's Bhim Sharki. Look at it, it's like a guttural roar, a Raymond van Barneveld-esque roar to the heavens. And look at them all sprinting on. Joy unbridled, the size of the crowd in the background. I think it's Vinay Kumar Jan, the red jacket there in the background. I've never seen that before. He's trying to tell Nepal not to sprint on. Good luck to him.
This is extraordinary. Mohammad Wasim is protesting. The crowd.
And they're mobbing Gulsan Jah. Look in the background.
Think they're going to Zimbabwe. Paresh, what are we witnessing? Have Nepal done enough? They think they have. They're roaring to the heavens. They're ahead. There's hugs. And maybe, just maybe, Dipendra, Singh, Airee and Gulsan Jah have done enough.
And look at Mohammad Wasim. He was utterly furious. As were all the UAE side, and actually, being honest, points got a little bit out of hand over the next 10 to 15 minutes. At one point, I think eventually they did shake hands, but they didn't shake hands at first. They kept protesting, and I thought, being honest with you, it was a pretty fair call by the umpires. If they bowled their overs even close to in time, 4 hours for 50 overs would be far too much. They took 4 hours and 10 minutes for 44. They would have got the game in. They still could have had a chance of winning it. And I think they were very fair, the two umpires, Buddy Pradhan and Wimar Siri. They got it right. It was genuinely close to pitch black at this point. In fact, I remember doing the post-match presentation for this. I think it was in the dark. I think we had to get some kind of lights on to light it up, because Nepal went on a celebratory lap of honour as well. And yeah, a moment I think I and every Nepal fan, every associate cricket fan will never forget. It was utterly extraordinary in every single way. One of my favourite cricketing moments of all time.
To take Nepal to Zimbabwe!
What a dramatic end to the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2.
Furious. And there it is. I suppose the final little postscript that might be worth, I'll try to bring the card up to show you again, just to round it out.
The ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2.
I didn't know. You can hear Paresh now talking at that point. I didn't know for 100% certain. That's why I said the crowd think they're going to Zimbabwe. I actually said, Paresh, you're going to have to, there's only 2 commentators ever in the pathway events, you're going to have to pick it up. I sprinted down that 60-70 yard journey. I think there's a video somewhere on TikTok or Instagram of me sprinting in my suit, running onto the outfield, kind of around the boundary, over to the match referee, who I'll actually look it up. It might have been Wendell LeBroy, was it? Let's take a look as to who it was. No, it was Manu Nair, really kind Indian gentleman, and I sprinted over, ran up the stairs to the match referee's room, and I said, Manu, can you please confirm the game is over? Please, I don't know. He's like, yeah, the game's done. We're not getting back out. And I was like, what's the result? He's like, Nepal win by 9 runs on DLS. I was like, thank you. Ran back down the stairs, ran back across the outfield, and what I should have anticipated was I'd be pretty out of breath by the time I got back. And it's not in this highlights video, but there's me back on air in I don't know, 5 minutes time, going, Paresh is still talking now. I say, Paresh, put the mic down. And I come in and I say, Paresh, I can confirm Nepal have qualified for Zimbabwe. But what an unbelievable game, and maybe the most incredible part about it was, you see there, nobody for Nepal made more than the 67 of Bhim Sharki. 4 batters made 50, Gulsan, Aarif, Sheikh, Bhim Sharki and Kushal Bertel, and they still won the match despite that 101 and 94 from Verdi Aarif and 101 from Asif Khan. But yeah, for me, certainly, maybe, well, it's a halcyon day, isn't it, for the associate game, for Nepali cricket. I know UAE at the time were gutted, but I think even they have reflected upon being part of one of the great games in the history of our sport. It shows the value of ODI cricket, shows the brilliance of the associate game, and yeah, something that I'll be eternally grateful for. I suppose firstly is my association with the associate game and Nepali cricket, and particularly being there for that day with my old friend Paresh Lahani. Again, a big shout out, big thanks to the gent who sent me those highlights. That was Nirav Kanal, to enable me to be able to watch them back and live through it with you. A game, one that I'll never forget. So big namaste from me. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you really got those goosebumps and feels and chills. I was getting them there. I got tears in my eyes at the end of it. A year ago today, a day I'll never forget, and something I'm so grateful for. So Dandavad, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully give that subscribe button a go if you're watching this on YouTube, and hopefully you enjoyed every moment of that. Bye for now.